Hey, what's up? This is Angle Grinder here. Now, moving into summer is always a good excuse to pick up some new sneakers, and specifically some summer appropriate ones. But I'm not going to focus too much on those super duper hyped things out there. I could just recommend that everyone goes out and buys off-whites and Mars yards and all that sort of thing to flex on all your mates and look super cool. But let's face it, most people know about those sneakers already, and probably a lot of people are not willing to pay resale for them. So let's not talk about those. So what are we going to look at? Well, when things get hot, what kind of things do we want in a sneaker? We want breathability and lightweight because you don't want your feet to get too hot, and you want to be able to move around. Basically, there's no need for that armor plated look that you might want to go for in the winter, and there's less chance of rain or any particularly bad conditions. We also look at lightweight sneakers because they're going to be more appropriate for the other kinds of more lightweight clothing that you're likely to be wearing during these summer months. These things have got to look banging with a pair of shorts or just less bulky clothing in general. Often big boots or sneaker boots are going to look out of place here because lighter clothing is really going to accentuate their large size. But with those things in mind, let's check out a few different options for some cool summer sneakers. First thing to check out is Nike's Vapormax series of sneakers. The off-white Vapormaxes are pretty hyped at the moment. You guys probably know all about those already, but don't forget that there's a myriad of other choices available out there. There's the Vapormax Plus, which can be found in some very summery colors, so good for injecting a little bit of vibrance into those outfits. I also think the lace cage is really cool. It's got this wavy kind of look, which when combined with the color of the main upper of the shoe gives things often a kind of watery sort of appearance, which I really like. However, they are a little bit on the bulky side, and as I said earlier, we really want things that are quite lightweight and potentially breathable, in which case the Nike Air Vapormax Flyknit 2 could be a potentially good option. This is an upgraded version from the original. They've added some of the heel cushioning that they originally put in the Vapormax utility to make this an even more comfortable shoe than usual. The Vapormax sole is super comfy, and in fact, in warm weather, those air bubbles will heat up a little bit more than they would usually, which makes them a bit softer. So potentially, this is a very seasonally appropriate shoe in that they become more comfortable in summer months. The pandas are a cool color choice to look for, the white with the little black accents, but there's a few other decent options which are worth checking out as well. The Vapormax is a very futuristic looking shoe, especially with those air bubbles on the bottom, so it's definitely going to turn heads. The downside of that, they're perhaps not the most flexible shoe in the world. I think you have to consider the rest of your outfit and really pair it up with those more futuristic looking things to get a whole decent outfit going on. The other downside, of course, is that these are pretty expensive. These come in at £170. So that's pretty much the top end of non-exclusive or non-collab shoes. What other options do we have though using Nike's Flyknit material? It's pretty durable, it's pretty lightweight, so it's a good choice of material for summer sneakers. Often Flyknit sneakers look very race ready, they have a very strong running aesthetic. One potential exception to that rule is the Flyknit trainer. These have quite a bulky shape, to be honest, for a Flyknit racer, but still very lightweight and breathable. I think the shape of these make these pretty versatile and wearable. I think you can get away with jeans, shorts, joggers, pretty much whatever you want really, so long as the colors are appropriate. They're also quite recognizable because a few years back they were quite hyped and quite exclusive, and now in 2018 they're becoming a little bit more readily available. The two-tone white and black ones, the Orcas, are probably the most recognizable colorway, and there are some suspect color options. Some of them are a little bit ugly, but there are some good ones out there as well, so have a look around and see if you can find something nice. These retail at £130, so a little bit of a drop down from the Vapormax. The all whites are super clean looking, so that gets my vote in terms of color choice here. As an alternative, take a look at the Free Run Flyknit 2018. These come in at £110, so you save yourself 20 quid, and you'll get a fairly similar look. They certainly have more of a running aesthetic than the Flyknit trainer, but they're not quite as futuristic looking as the Vapormax are, so I think a little bit more versatile in that respect. They also have a more aggressive shape than something like a Flyknit racer. I think it's the heel that really does that. It has this kind of stepped up look to it, and that as well I think makes them more appropriate for streetwear than some of those other pure Nike running shoes. Although I feel like Adidas have slipped a bit from their NMD and Ultra Boost glory days of a few years ago, if you're more Team Adidas than Team Nike, then I do still think there are a couple of cool options out there. One recent release that caught my eye is the Adidas SpeedFactory. They're made from a single piece of knit. I don't think it's prime knit because in hand these feel a bit lighter than your average prime knit knit wood. Their unique touch comes in the form of these little inserts which strengthen the laces and have different color tones. It's cool that that little unique touch is also an element of functionality and that it's actually required, unlike something like the NMD plug, which is purely designed from a fashion perspective. And of course, these being on a boost sole means that they have pretty much guaranteed high levels of comfort. Apparently, these also have an NFC chip in the tongue, which unlocks some like exclusive content or something. I don't know exactly what that is. It's probably not that valuable, but it's worth mentioning anyway. Adidas designed these for commuting, so they're very much an urban wear sneaker. The only downsides I really see is as I mentioned, the price of these is pretty high, and because they're quite a new silhouette, there isn't really that many color choices at the moment. So if you don't like these ones, then you don't have too many other choices. But if you're still feeling Ultra Boost, there is an updated Clima version, which is designed for better ventilation than the prime knit found on the previous models. So this could be a pretty good summer option. Again though, these are more expensive than the normal Ultra Boost. I think these come in at $160 as well. So you've got to really like your Ultra Boost to want to go for these, but to be fair, I think they're a classic shape, and I still wear my Ultra Boost 1.0s, so could be worth a shot. There's one more Adidas related thing that I wanted to mention. The Maison Martin Margiela Replicas I think make a really nice summer shoe. They look very cool and clean, they're appropriate for lots of different styles. You can wear these in quite formal occasions and also very dressed down as well. And I think they have that kind of exclusive fashion appeal where if you see someone wearing them and you know what they are, it's like, he's wearing the replicas, that's kind of cool. Because they're a high fashion shoe though, they come at a high fashion price, so a lot of people are not going to want to pay that. However, the reason that they're called replicas is that they are a replica of German army sneakers, and Adidas have taken the same inspiration for their BW Army shoe. The result of that is that they make basically exactly the same looking shoe as the replica, but at a way lower price. This is a good one for getting a high-end look at a much lower price, and it's a much less techie looking option than a lot of the things on this list. It's also worth noting that if you're desperate to wear replicas specifically, there is a more summer version that recently came out where they have some cutouts in the side, so you really can go maximum summer and keep things pretty breathable and lightweight. Maybe you want something a little bit lower profile than all of that stuff though, in which case don't forget about the slip-on. Vans of course are often the default choice for this, and you'll see these worn in pretty much any kind of fit, from techwear to streetwear to skateboarding and pretty much everything in between. They come in a billion different colorways and they're also very cheap. The downside though, they're not the most comfortable shoe in the world, and you might want to look elsewhere if you want something that's a little bit more unique, because as I say, these are pretty ubiquitous, you'll pretty much find them anywhere. On the more techwear aesthetic side of things, you've got Y3, they have a few different options. There's the Laver or Laver, however you pronounce it, that came out last season. You might still find some of those on sale, and they are pretty much all mesh construction, so they're very lightweight and very breathable. They have a slip-on replacement now though in the form of the Tangutsu. I believe these are canvas, so they're pretty similar to the Van slip-ons. I would give the same advice that I often give for Y3 stuff, which is try if you can and wait for sales, because often Y3 stuff does come up in sale, so you can get it a little bit cheaper than the admittedly very high retail price. There are some other more technical looking slip-ons to consider. The North Face came out recently with the NSE Traction Knit Mock. These look really similar to Nike's Sock Racer, which came out last year, and although they were a shoe that I really liked, I don't think they proved that popular because they did go on sale and they were available at sale price for quite a long time. Despite the pretty garish North Face branding on these, in general they're quite a clean and quite a minimal looking silhouette, and coming in at just under £100 on the budget, wallet friendly side of things, it's a little bit better than some of the other things on this list. And although Nike haven't brought back the Sock Racer for this year, they've gone for something different in the form of the Footscape Flyknit DM. These have a similar midsole to the very cool Nike Footscape Utility DM that came out at the tail end of last year, but with a very different upper that makes these super low profile. It's a very interesting contrast between that massively chunky midsole and then the Flyknit very low lightweight construction on the upper. They kind of look like a Sock Racer or a Sock Dart on steroids, and for that reason I think they're going to be a bit of a divisive shoe. Not everyone's going to like these, but to me they certainly have a lot of the techwear kind of aesthetic whilst keeping keeping it very low profile and appropriate for summer. Oh yeah, and one final thing, if you subscribe to that dad shoe trend and you want to pick up something like that, consider, instead of dropping 600 on some Balenciaga Triple S's or whatever and going for the hype beastie kind of style, go for the original dad shoe instead, Nike Air Monarch IV. They're really cheap, they're very readily available, and they definitely got some vintage swag in there. That's definitely one for OGs only. So there's quite a lot of different examples and styles there for some summer appropriate footwear which you can go and check out, or maybe get inspired by some of those models and find something else that's similar that maybe you like a little bit better. And if you've got any other suggestions of things that you think I've missed, then stick them down there in the comments, because I'm definitely going to be on the hunt for some new sneakers in the coming months. And if there was anything that you particularly liked out of these, or anything that you thought I was totally mad for putting in this video because they're disgusting, then again, stick that down there in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, by all means, please do give it a like, and thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Shout out to everyone that shared their thoughts in the Nike Lab ACG video last week. It was cool to see quite a lot of different contrasting opinions in there. So on one side, you've got people like Mark Maxey, who really enjoyed that departure from the all black techwear stuff into some cool different colors. And then you've got Polo Bear, for example, who just wasn't really feeling the collection this time. Corbin and So Much Black also giving some quite detailed approval on the use of color there. I really like reading through the comments when people are having a bit of a discussion and sharing their opinions on the things that are featured in the video. So again, thanks to everyone who commented on that one. And if you made it this far, congratulations. If you want to catch some more videos, they're going to be going up there. And if you haven't subscribed yet, but you liked this video at least a little bit and you want to catch some more, there's going to be more techwear related stuff going up for sure, then just hit that little subscribe button and you can catch that. Make sure you don't miss it.